Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What if your future isn't something that happens to you, but something you quietly create, minute by minute, through every decision you make? What if the real turning point in life isn't some big dramatic event, but something as small as what you choose to do with your next hour? And what if success or failure isn't built in a year, but in a day, repeated again and again? Life doesn't just magically change for us. We are the ones who change our lives. And those changes don't begin in some far-off future. They begin right now, in this very moment, through the decisions we make, the habits we form, and the actions we take today. Here's something foundational I want you to truly grasp. Success is simply the result of a few small disciplines practiced daily. On the other hand, failure is often the result of just a few errors in judgment, repeated consistently over time. That's the reality, and it's both powerful and humbling. Because what determines where you end up isn't a single event, but the accumulated weight of all those tiny choices. The beauty of this truth: you get to choose. Every day, every hour, every single minute. You choose whether you'll lean into discipline or fall into error. You choose what you'll do with your time. And over time, those choices begin to compound. Quietly, powerfully. They shape your future more than you realize. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was a young man, 25 years old, I was making a living, but certainly not building a future. I was surviving, but I wasn't progressing. Then one day, I met my mentor, Mr. Skay. He looked at my life and said something that stopped me in my tracks. He said, "Jim, if you want your life to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. The only way things will change for you is when you change." That hit me like a freight train. I had been waiting for the economy to shift, for my circumstances to improve, for someone to give me a break. But in that moment, I realized the key to my future wasn't out there. It was me, not the government, not my boss, not luck, just me and what I was willing to do today. So let's explore a few principles that can reshape your future, starting right now. And the first is this: today matters. We often overlook today because it feels small and insignificant. After all, what's one day in the context of a whole lifetime? But here's the truth: your life is made up of days. That's all it is. String together enough good days, and you'll have a good life. It really is that simple. Most people don't recognize the value of a single day. They treat time as though it's unlimited, throwing away days like spare change. But the truth is, your supply of days is not infinite. Every day you waste is gone forever. You don't get a refund. You don't get to recycle it. Once today is over, it's part of your past. And that past is what builds your future. So the question becomes, what are you doing with this day? And that leads us to a second key idea. Small disciplines add up to big results. Success isn't the result of some grand, one-time decision. It's the result of consistent, thoughtful effort done daily. Success doesn't come from one giant leap. It comes from small, intentional steps taken consistently over time. It's the quiet repetition of good habits, the seemingly insignificant actions you do day in and day out, that build up to massive transformation over the long run. Let me give you a clear example. Imagine saving just $3 a day. That's about the cost of a fancy coffee. If you were to invest that small amount at a 10% annual return over the course of 40 years, you'd have accumulated more than $300,000. Think about that, just $3 a day. It's not the size of the effort that creates wealth. It's the consistency. It's the habit. It's the quiet discipline of doing something smart and intentional every single day. This same principle applies to your health. One workout won't change your body. One healthy meal won't transform your energy. But what happens when you choose to move your body for 30 minutes every day for an entire year? What happens when you fuel your body with nutritious food consistently? Change doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds over time, built on daily disciplines. Small, repeated actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Now let's talk about a principle that governs all of this: the law of sowing and reaping. It's one of the most powerful laws in the universe, and it's working in your life every day, whether you're conscious of it or not. Whatever you plant today, you will harvest in the future. If you plant tomato seeds, you're not going to grow cucumbers. If you plant apple seeds, you're not going to get oranges. And if today you plant seeds of procrastination, laziness, and excuses, you will not reap a harvest of achievement, success, or fulfillment tomorrow. Your future harvest is determined by the seeds you're planting right now. So let me ask you honestly, what are you planting today? Are you choosing to sow discipline, focused effort, learning, and meaningful relationships? Or are you planting seeds of blame, negative thinking, avoidance, and short-term comfort? The fourth truth is this. Today is where your personal philosophy is tested. It's easy to talk about success. It's easy to read inspiring books or attend seminars that make you feel temporarily motivated. But your real beliefs, your true personal philosophy, aren't proven in theory. They're proven in practice. And that practice happens today. Do you say you believe in hard work? Today will test that belief, especially when you're tired, unmotivated, and tempted to quit early. Do you claim to value personal responsibility? Watch what happens when something goes wrong. Will you own it or find someone else to blame? Do you believe in the power of continuous learning? Today will challenge that belief when you're choosing between reading a chapter of a great book or mindlessly scrolling your phone for an hour. Your true philosophy is not found in what you say. It's revealed in what you do, especially when no one's watching. It's not about what you say you believe. It's about what you do. And what you do happens not tomorrow, not someday, today. Fifth, today is where your habits are formed. Every one of us is a creature of habit. And those habits, whether intentional or not, quietly shape the trajectory of our lives. The habits you're practicing today, whether good or bad, are carving out patterns, grooves that will either guide you toward success or pull you slowly toward failure. Here's what's fascinating. Habits begin like cobwebs, fragile, easy to brush aside. But with repetition, they harden into cables. Strong, unyielding, and often hard to break. What starts as something small and harmless can grow into something that controls you, for better or worse. The good news? You have the power to choose your habits. You can intentionally create patterns of behavior that will serve you for years to come. Want financial security? Begin the habit of saving and investing today. Want to build vibrant health? Start forming the habit of regular movement and nutritious eating today. Want stronger, more meaningful relationships? Start practicing the habit of listening, encouraging, and genuinely appreciating others today. Sixth, today is where character is built. Contrary to what many think, character isn't forged in the dramatic moments of life. It's formed quietly, consistently, in the small, everyday decisions, especially the ones you make when no one's watching. Will you tell the truth, even when a lie would be easier and more convenient? Will you follow through on your promises, even when motivation fades? Will you do what's right, even when doing what's wrong could give you a quick advantage? These choices don't live in the future. They live in the now, and every one of them builds or weakens your character. Over time, the person you become internally will shape the external opportunities that come your way. People of strong character attract trust, respect, and open doors that others never see. People of questionable character might get ahead for a while, but that path eventually crumbles. Seventh, today is where your true priorities are revealed. Everyone says they have priorities: family, health, personal growth. But priorities aren't what you claim. They're what you demonstrate through your actions and attention. If you say family is a priority, but you're always working late, missing important moments, and bringing your stress home, what's really your priority? If you say your health matters, but consistently choose fast food over nourishment and skip workouts, what's your health truly worth to you? If you claim that personal growth is important, but never make time to read, learn, or challenge yourself, then how much does it actually matter? Your calendar and your habits speak louder than your words. And the way you live today reveals what truly sits at the center of your values. What truly matters to you is revealed not by what you say, but by how you act. Your actions today speak volumes, louder than any words you might offer about your hopes for tomorrow. If you're ever unsure of your real priorities, just look at your calendar and your bank statement. They'll tell you exactly what matters most. Now let me share something that may be a little uncomfortable to hear. but it's one of the most powerful truths about success. Successful people are willing to do the things that unsuccessful people avoid. They make the tough phone calls. They have the hard conversations. They take the uncomfortable steps, do the unglamorous work, make the necessary sacrifices, and accept calculated risks today, while others push those things off until tomorrow. And here's a truth that will stay with you. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. That small effort you make today, the temporary discomfort of choosing discipline over convenience, will never hurt as much as the crushing regret of lost time years from now. I remember talking with a gentleman in his late 50s. He looked me in the eye and said, "Jim, I'm so disappointed in myself. I wasted so much time. If I had just started saving and investing in my 20s, like you always talked about, I'd be financially free today. But I kept putting it off, telling myself I had plenty of time. And now, I'm starting over, almost from zero." The pain in his voice was real. You could hear the weight of regret in every word. Don't let that be your story. Don't allow your future self to carry the burden of the choices you didn't make today. That brings us to another key principle. The future arrives one day at a time. You can't build your future in the future. You can only build it in the present. It happens day by day, decision by decision, action by action. Picture your future as a building. And every day you're alive, you're handed a brick. Some people waste their bricks. Others throw them down carelessly, with no structure or plan, building walls that wobble, foundations that crack, and lives that ultimately collapse under their own weight. But there are those who use their bricks intentionally. Each day, they place their brick with care, shaping something solid, something lasting, something beautiful. Over time, these small daily decisions either create a magnificent life or one that's fragile and full of regret. So let me ask you, what kind of structure are you building with your days? Now, maybe you're thinking, what if I haven't made the best choices? What if I've wasted time? What if my current path isn't taking me where I want to go? Here's the good news. Today is a new day. You can begin again, right here, right now. You don't have to stay stuck in the same cycle. You're not bound to the mistakes of your past. Just because you've been walking one path for a long time doesn't mean you're locked into it forever. You can choose a new direction today, right now. That's what I call the miracle of personal development. No matter how far you've gone down the wrong road, no matter what you've done in the past, you can begin building a brand new future the moment you decide to change what you do today. Let me share a story that left a lasting impression on me. I once met a gentleman who had battled alcoholism for 15 years. His addiction had taken nearly everything: his family, his career, and almost his life. But one day, something shifted. He made a powerful decision. He chose to stop defining himself by his past and to start creating a new future by changing his present. Day by day, he rebuilt. He got sober. He worked on new habits, learned new skills, and began repairing the damage where he could. He found new work, a new sense of purpose, and 10 years later, his life was unrecognizable. Not because he changed his future directly. You can't jump ahead and fix the future, but because he took responsibility for changing his today. And he did it one day at a time. That's the power of today. Regardless of your past, your future is shaped by what you do now. Not what you hope for later, not what you regret from before. Right now is your point of power. Let's dive into another critical principle that explains why your future is created by what you do today. The power of compounding. You've probably heard the quote attributed to Albert Einstein. He supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And while most people apply that to money, the truth is that compounding affects nearly every area of life. Your knowledge, your skills, your relationships, even your habits. When you learn something today, that knowledge becomes the stepping stone for deeper learning tomorrow. When you practice a skill today, you're not just improving. It makes tomorrow's practice even more effective. When you invest in a relationship by showing up, listening, supporting, those investments compound into trust, connection, and opportunity. And here's the key. Small, consistent actions don't just add up, they multiply. That's the magic of compound growth. Consider this. If you improve just 1% every single day for a year, you won't be 365% better. You'll be nearly 38 times better. On the flip side, if you decline by 1% each day, the results are devastating. That's the gap compounding creates, not small differences, but exponential ones. This is why today matters more than most people think. Because today's actions either set positive momentum in motion or begin a quiet decline. And over time, that momentum either works powerfully for you or relentlessly against you. Now, let me highlight something important, something that trips up a lot of people. There's a crucial distinction between activities and accomplishments, and many people confuse the two. Too often, people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their calendars with activities, calls, meetings, errands, scrolling through emails that give the illusion of progress, but in reality, don't move them meaningfully toward their goals. The real question you need to ask yourself isn't simply, what am I doing today? It's, what am I actually accomplishing today? Are your daily actions aligned with the life you're trying to build? Are the things you're spending your time on bringing you closer to your vision, or just keeping you occupied? One of the most valuable habits you can develop is taking a moment each morning to ask, what are the few high-impact things I could accomplish today that would make the biggest difference in my future? That question alone, if answered honestly, can reframe your entire day. Once you identify those things, focus your energy there. You don't need to check off 100 boxes. You just need to focus on the right things. And more importantly, you need to act on them today, not put them off for tomorrow. Let's now explore another vital dimension of how your future is created by what you do today, the development of your mindset. Think of your mind as a garden. The thoughts you allow in and nurture today will eventually grow and bear fruit. If you're planting seeds of possibility, abundance, and optimism, you'll gradually cultivate a mindset that notices opportunities and creates momentum. On the other hand, if you consistently feed your mind thoughts of scarcity, limitation, and fear, you'll begin to see obstacles everywhere, even where there are none. So ask yourself, what kind of mental seeds are you planting today? Are you feeding your mind with high-quality inputs, uplifting books, meaningful conversations, thoughtful ideas? Or are you letting it be overrun by weeds, complaints, distractions, and negativity? Because here's the truth. The mindset you nurture today will shape the way you interpret the world tomorrow. Two people can look at the exact same situation. One sees a massive problem, the other sees a window of opportunity. The difference isn't the circumstance, it's how they've trained themselves to think. That's why I've always been a strong advocate for reading great books, attending transformative seminars, and intentionally surrounding yourself with people who challenge and inspire you. These aren't just feel-good activities. They're long-term investments in your thinking, your clarity, and your ability to see beyond the noise. Now let's talk about another deeply personal, yet powerful, part of this process, the development of your identity. Your sense of who you are, what you believe you're capable of, and how much you trust yourself to follow through. Every time you make a promise to yourself and follow through, you strengthen your identity as someone who keeps their word. With every challenge you face and push through, you're reinforcing the belief that you're someone who doesn't quit. And every time you accomplish something you once believed was beyond your ability, your sense of what's possible begins to expand. These powerful, identity-shaping moments don't happen in the distant future. They happen today, right here, in real time, in the decisions you make and the actions you take. And here's the key. Your identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you see yourself as someone who always finds a way, you'll persist until a way appears. But if you view yourself as someone who quits when things get tough, you'll unconsciously look for a reason to stop the moment adversity hits. Your actions today don't just shape your external reality, they shape you. Now let's talk about something that stops many people in their tracks, the gap between knowing and doing. So many people already know what they should be doing. They've read the books, listened to the podcasts, attended the seminars, but they're not following through. The knowledge is there, but the action is missing. Think of it like this. Having knowledge without action is like holding a treasure map, but never beginning the journey. The potential is real, but completely unrealized. And here's a truth that separates the average from the extraordinary. It's rarely about how much you know. It's about whether you act on what you know, especially when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. So when should you take action? Not tomorrow. Not when you feel more motivated. Not when the timing is perfect. You take action today. This brings us to another timeless principle. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Maybe you wish you had started saving money earlier. Maybe you regret not taking better care of your health. Maybe there's a dream you set aside years ago that still quietly calls to you. The truth is, you can't go back and change when you began, but you can change when you decide to begin. And that time is now. Don't let regret over yesterday rob you of the opportunity and power you have today. Use today wisely, regardless of how much time you think you've lost. Now let's talk about another essential part of how your future is created by what you do today, the power of decisions. Your life right now is the sum of countless decisions you've made in the past, some large, some small. And your life in the future will be shaped by the decisions you make today. Not every decision seems monumental. Some feel small and insignificant in a moment. But over time, even the smallest decisions, repeated consistently, can lead to massive consequences. Take the decision to smoke a single cigarette. One doesn't seem like much, but repeated over years, that choice can lead to addiction, illness, and even a shortened life. On the flip side, the decision to save a small amount of money each week might not feel like it matters, until years later, it becomes financial independence. The choice to show kindness to your partner today might seem simple, but do it every day, and it becomes the foundation of a loving, lifelong relationship. Each day, you make hundreds of decisions, some consciously, others on autopilot. But each one is a brick in the foundation of your future. You're literally shaping your future with the choices you make each day. The only question is, are you doing it intentionally or by default? Are you thoughtfully creating your path or simply drifting with whatever shows up? That's why I encourage you to become more mindful of the decisions you make. Ask yourself, is this choice taking me closer to my goals or pulling me further away? Is this decision aligned with the person I truly want to become? Or is it a reaction to short-term comfort? Now let's talk about one of the biggest barriers that prevents people from taking meaningful action today. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of the unknown. These invisible forces keep people stuck. They delay progress, paralyze decision-making, and postpone important actions until that elusive someday when the fear finally disappears. But here's the truth that most people never want to hear. Fear doesn't go away on its own. It doesn't vanish with time. It only begins to shrink when you face it. And you can only face it today. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to act in spite of fear. It's that moment when you feel the nerves, the doubt, the anxiety, and take a step forward anyway. And every time you do that, every time you take action today, despite your fear, you're building courage. Real courage. The kind that becomes a resource for tomorrow's challenges. I once spoke with a very successful entrepreneur who shared what he believed was the core of his success. He said, "I simply did what others were afraid to do. While others hesitated, he picked up the phone and made the cold calls. While others avoided confrontation, he had the tough conversations. While others played it safe, he took calculated risks. Not because he was fearless, but because he refused to let fear make his decisions for him." So ask yourself honestly, what fears are holding you back today? What conversations are you avoiding? What bold steps are you postponing? Because here's the pattern. Successful people overcome their fears today. Unsuccessful people are still waiting for the fear to disappear tomorrow. Now, let's shift to another key principle of how your future is shaped by what you do today, the quality of your questions. The questions you ask yourself today will determine the answers you receive. And the answers you receive guide your behavior. Ask poor questions, and you'll get poor answers, which lead to poor actions. Ask powerful, insightful questions, and your actions begin to reflect clarity and wisdom. Instead of asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" Ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of asking, "Who's to blame?" Ask, "What can I do differently next time?" Instead of asking, "Why even try?" Ask, "How can I make this work?" The quality of your questions today will shape the quality of your thinking, and ultimately, the quality of your life tomorrow. Finally, I want to address something I see all the time: the obsession with events instead of processes. Too many people are chasing the quick win, the breakthrough moment, the one-time transformation. Too often, people wait for that one big event, the lucky break, the perfect opportunity, the game-changing promotion, believing it will magically transform their lives. But here's the truth. Lasting success rarely comes from a single moment. It doesn't show up as a grand event. It's built through daily repetition, through systems and processes that work consistently over time. It's not the one intense workout that transforms your body. It's the habit of showing up day after day. It's not one big business deal that makes you wealthy. It's the system behind how you run your business. It's not one deep conversation that creates an incredible relationship. It's the ongoing pattern of how you communicate, listen, and show up. The future you desire isn't the result of occasional heroic efforts. It's the outcome of small, consistent actions that point you in the right direction and keep you moving forward. And where do those systems and processes live? They live in today, in the habits, routines, and patterns you're practicing right now. Ask yourself, what systems do you currently have in place? Are you managing your finances intentionally, or just hoping for the best? Are you investing in your health daily, or waiting for a health scare to change? Are you nurturing your relationships, or taking them for granted? Every system you maintain today, whether intentional or accidental, is building your future. Now let's explore another powerful influence that shapes your future, your environment. The people, places, and inputs you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset, choices, and behaviors, even when you don't realize it. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, small thinking, and mediocrity, don't be surprised if your life reflects those same qualities. On the other hand, if your environment includes positive influences, high standards, and people who challenge you to grow, that's what will shape your future. Take a look around. Is your current environment helping you grow, or quietly holding you back? Are the people in your life encouraging your goals, or subtly sabotaging them? Does your physical space lift your energy, or drain it? Even something as simple as your social media feed. Is it inspiring you, or distracting you? The good news is you don't have to wait to change your environment. You can start today. Choose better conversations. Spend time in places that energize you. Curate your digital space. These seemingly small choices will influence your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately who you become. Next, let's tackle a sneaky enemy of progress, perfectionism. So many people never start because they're waiting for the perfect moment. They tell themselves they'll take action when they have more time, more knowledge, more clarity, when they feel completely ready. But here's the harsh truth. That moment never comes. Perfection is the enemy of progress. The most successful people aren't the ones who wait until everything is perfectly aligned. They're the ones who start imperfectly, who learn as they go, and who adjust along the way. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need everything to be polished. You just need to take the first step, and you need to take it today. Action is the only cure for hesitation. Waiting kills dreams. I've seen too many powerful ideas, too many brilliant visions die at the hands of perfectionism. Don't let your dreams become one of them. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Today, let's now dive into one more essential element of how your future is created by what you do today. The power of your word. When you give your word, do you honor it? When you say you'll do something, do you follow through without excuses? The integrity of your word is one of the most powerful forces shaping your future. It determines how others see you, yes, but even more importantly, it defines how you see yourself. Every time you make a promise and keep it, you strengthen a critical foundation. Trust. Trust from others, yes, but even deeper, trust in yourself. But what happens when you break that promise, especially to yourself? When you say, I'll start eating healthy tomorrow, but don't. When you promise to finally make that phone call next week, but you delay again. Each time you break your own word, even in small ways, it chips away at your self-respect. And little by little, you stop believing in what you say. You start doubting your ability to follow through. And when you stop believing your own word, your confidence and potential starts slipping away. The promises you honor today become the foundation of your future credibility. The ones you break become shadows that follow you tomorrow. So make this the moment you become someone whose word means something, especially to yourself. Now, let's explore another crucial way your future is shaped by what you do today, how you respond to challenges. Life isn't a smooth ride. It will test you. There will be unexpected setbacks, painful disappointments, and moments of failure. The question isn't if challenges will come, they will. The real question is, how will you respond when they do? Will you shift blame and complain about your circumstances? Or will you take full ownership and ask, what can I learn from this? Will you quit at the first sign of resistance? Or will you press forward even when the odds aren't in your favor? Will you retreat in fear or rise in courage? These choices aren't made in the future. They are made today, in the heat of the moment, in the heart of the struggle. And those response patterns, repeated over time, shape your emotional resilience and your long-term success. I've known people who suffered massive setbacks, losses that would break most spirits, and yet they used that pain as fuel to build something extraordinary. I've also seen others who allowed minor difficulties to completely derail their dreams. What made the difference wasn't the size of the challenge. It was their mindset in the moment, their response. Today, you have the power to choose your response. Will you choose growth over retreat? Will you choose courage over fear? If so, you'll develop a resilience that will carry you through life's hardest storms. Now let's clear up a common myth that holds many people back. The belief that success means never failing. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Success isn't about never failing. It's about never giving up. It's about rising every single time you fall and doing it with purpose. But here's what most people miss. That resilience, that strength to get back up, it doesn't come someday in the future. It happens today, not when the pain goes away, not when the timing feels perfect. It starts right now. Each time you fall and choose to rise again today, you're strengthening a muscle of resilience that will make it easier to rise tomorrow. Every time you fail, but try again today, you're building perseverance that will push you through the next challenge. When you hit a setback and decide to keep moving forward today, you're creating a force of determination that will carry you even further tomorrow. Let me share a powerful story. I once met a woman who had lost everything. A complete bankruptcy. Her business collapsed, she lost her home, her marriage ended. It felt like her whole world came crashing down. But even in the middle of that storm, she made a life-altering decision. She couldn't control what had happened, but she could control how she responded. And she chose to respond with action. Day by day, brick by brick, she began again. She launched a new business. She cleaned up her finances. She nurtured new relationships. And 10 years later, her life had not only recovered, it had reached heights she never imagined. Her success didn't come because she never failed. It came because she refused to stay down. She acted, not later, but today. And that's the secret. No matter what life throws at you, the most powerful move you can make is to take action today. Now, let's explore another critical dimension, the power of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good emotion. It's one of the most transformative mindsets you can develop. When you shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, from what's going wrong to what's going right, you begin to change the way you see everything. And that shift in perspective leads to new actions, new habits, and ultimately a new future. A grateful mindset today paves the way for abundance tomorrow. But if you choose to dwell in complaint and dissatisfaction today, you're sowing seeds of scarcity for the future. The decision is yours, and it's made not next week, not next year, but today. Here's a powerful but simple habit I recommend. Start a daily gratitude practice. Each morning or evening, take a few moments to write down just 3 things you're thankful for. Big or small, it doesn't matter. The act of recognizing them changes how your mind processes your day. Over time, this daily discipline will rewire your mindset, and your future will begin to shift in response. But there's one more silent force we need to discuss, something that quietly stops more dreams than failure ever could, and that's the comfort zone. Remaining in your comfort zone today almost guarantees that you'll remain in the same place tomorrow. If nothing changes, nothing changes. To build a different future, you must be willing to do things differently right now. And that often means stepping into discomfort. It's rarely enjoyable in the moment, but it's absolutely necessary for growth. The highest achievers I've encountered have one thing in common. They regularly embrace discomfort. They initiate the hard conversations. They take on the tasks most people avoid. They challenge themselves to learn things that stretch them far beyond their current abilities. Not because they love being uncomfortable, but because they understand something most don't. The discomfort of today leads to the transformation of tomorrow. Now ask yourself this. What uncomfortable action have you been avoiding? Is it a conversation you've been putting off? A new skill you've been hesitant to learn? A task you've pushed to the back burner because it feels overwhelming or unfamiliar? Those very things, the ones sitting just outside your comfort zone, are likely the key to unlocking your future potential. And the time to act on them is today. Let's move into another powerful concept that shapes your future. The focus of your attention. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. What you consistently focus on each day determines how you perceive the world, how you feel, and ultimately what actions you take. If your attention is locked on problems, your mind will find more problems to reinforce that view. But if you choose to focus on solutions, you'll start noticing options, pathways, and ideas you never considered before. It's the same with your emotional state. Focus on what's wrong, and more negativity will rise to the surface. But direct your attention toward what's right, and you'll begin to see more good, not just in your circumstances, but in yourself and others. This doesn't mean turning a blind eye to issues or pretending life is perfect. It means focusing your mental energy on what you can influence, on the opportunities instead of the limitations, on creative solutions instead of endless complaints. Because where you focus today will shape what becomes possible for you tomorrow. Choose that focus with intention. And here's another truth that often separates those who create lasting success from those who only dream about it. The ability to delay gratification. The ability to delay gratification today for a greater reward tomorrow is one of the clearest indicators of long-term success. Let's be honest, it's easy to do what feels good in the moment. It's easier to spend money than to save it, to indulge instead of showing restraint, to relax when you should be working. But those easy, comfortable choices made today often lead to hard, uncomfortable realities later. On the other hand, the tough decisions you make today, the ones that require effort, discipline, and delayed pleasure, often lead to a much easier, more fulfilling life down the road. When you choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, you create space for freedom, progress, and opportunity in your future. But when you continually chase instant gratification, you're often unknowingly creating a life of limitation, regret, and missed potential. And here's the catch. That decision is always yours. Not someday, not eventually, but today. Now let's shift to another powerful factor in building your future, your energy. Think of your physical, mental, and emotional energy as the fuel that drives your daily actions. Without enough energy, even the best intentions fall flat. So, how do you generate that energy? Through your choices, what you eat, how you sleep, how you move your body, how you manage stress, and the mindset you carry. These daily choices either recharge your tank or drain it. If you repeatedly deplete yourself with unhealthy habits, you're robbing tomorrow of its potential. But if you choose today to take care of your well-being, you're investing in a reservoir of energy that will help you meet tomorrow's demands. This is why self-care isn't selfish. It's a strategy. It's not about pampering, it's about preparation. The better you care for yourself today, the more you'll have to give to your goals, your work, and the people who matter to you tomorrow. Now let's talk about something else that's shaping your future in a powerful way. Your associations. As Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who you surround yourself with today has an enormous influence on who you become in the months and years ahead. Spend your time with people who constantly complain, shift blame, and settle for mediocrity, and you'll likely find yourself drifting toward those same behaviors. But spend time with people who take ownership, think big, and are committed to personal growth, and you'll naturally rise with them. So take a moment and reflect. Who are the people in your inner circle today? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Are they challenging your thinking or keeping it small? Are they inspiring you to level up or validating your excuses? The truth is, your future is being shaped by these influences, and your associations today will echo in the results you experience tomorrow. Choose them with purpose. Now, let's touch on something that silently keeps many people from building the future they truly want: waiting for permission. Too many individuals are stuck, not because they lack talent, passion, or drive, but because they're waiting for someone to validate their dreams. waiting for approval to pursue their goals, waiting for a manager, a mentor, a partner, or even society to give them the green light. But the truth is, for someone to recognize their talent, for their family to approve of their ambitions, or for society to validate their dreams. But here's the honest truth. The people who truly change their lives, and even change the world, aren't waiting for permission. They give it to themselves. They don't wait until the timing is perfect or until someone else tells them it's okay. They decide what they want, and they start building it today. Not someday, not eventually, but right now. You don't need anyone's permission to become your best self. You don't need approval to chase excellence, to serve others, to provide value, or to build something meaningful and lasting. The only permission that matters is the one you give yourself. And the beautiful part is you can give it today. Now let's explore one final, powerful element of how your future is created by what you do today. The power of clarity. Clarity is what brings purpose into focus. When you're clear about what you want, your actions become intentional, directed, and effective. But without clarity, your energy is scattered. You may be working hard, but without a clear destination, you're likely moving in circles. Take a moment today, yes, today, to reflect deeply on what you truly want in all areas of your life. Your career, your relationships, your health, your finances, your spiritual growth. What specific results are you aiming for? What kind of person do you want to become? What impact do you want to make? The clearer you are today, the more powerful your actions will be tomorrow. As we bring this message to a close, I want you to remember something vital. Your future is not some far-off place you'll reach someday. It's not waiting out there in the distance. Your future is being shaped right now, in this moment, with every decision you make, with every small step you take today. The seemingly minor disciplines you commit to today might feel trivial. But over time, those consistent efforts stack up and shape extraordinary results. On the flip side, the small errors you allow, the corners you cut, the actions you delay, they can quietly build a path to consequences you never intended. Don't underestimate the power of today simply because it feels ordinary. Today is the only time you have complete control over. Yesterday is already written. Tomorrow is just a possibility. But today it's here. It's real. And it's where all your power lies. So I urge you, don't waste it. Fill today with purpose. Choose growth over comfort. Choose discipline over regret. Choose movement over excuses. And remember, your future isn't determined by fate. It's shaped by you, one choice, one action, one day at a time. Thank you so much for your time and energy. Wishing you health, happiness, and a life full of purpose. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily to continue this journey of growth together.